All right, let's bring in Ramesh Srinivasan. He's professor at University of California, Los Angeles, Department of Information Studies. He joins us by Skype from Los Angeles. Ramesh, what exactly is at stake for Elon Musk in this trial, and how much could all this potentially be a referendum on Musk's management style?
There's a great deal at stake. Musk used some of his Tesla shares, which at that time were doing quite well, to fund his purchase of Twitter. Ever since he's purchased Twitter, and I've actually spoken with you all on Al Jazeera about this several times, his management of Twitter has been pretty whimsical and erratic. First of all, there were major firings of different Twitter employees. Then there was a vote, a straw poll that Musk himself put online on Twitter itself, asking if he should step down as CEO, and the vote was 60-40 for him actually stepping down. Basically, what's happening here is Musk has always used Twitter as something of a space for him to play with different ideas. At times, I would say troll others and sort of have this sort of whimsical and unpredictable nature has been his persona on Twitter. He trolls various people at various times. And so on Twitter, he's pretty loose, and he basically made some comments that are now getting him in trouble. That ended up shifting and impacting the Tesla stock prices. So on many different levels, on many different counts, what Musk has done as a public persona, who in many ways is quite unpredictable, has impacted his security with Tesla itself. So I think it's important for us to look at Musk as a public figure, but also for investors to see Musk as someone who is not dependable, who is not predictable, and not secure. So the real drawstrings that may have actually some power over Musk are the investor and advertiser drawstrings. And in those areas, we see we see huge impacts actually emerging. And
Ramesh,
this trial is.
Ramesh, Elon Musk had wanted the trial to be moved to Texas. The argument from his lawyers was that negative coverage of Musk's Twitter purchase may have poisoned the jury pool in San Francisco, but that request was denied by the judge. Will holding this trial in California make things more difficult for Elon Musk?
It likely will, but also these potential violations were committed while he was in California. But I think again, this is sort of a very simplistic take. Whether the trial is in Texas or in California, that Musk's attorneys and Musk himself is voicing on what's a much more major issue, which is the fact that Musk is not showing consistency in his leadership, right? And that is scaring away investors from his sort of defiance of norms of decency, decent communication with, basically saying, hey, content moderation and journalists who really should be hired by platforms like Twitter to ensure that these algorithms are not privileging inflammatory and hateful content, right? All of these, there's been at least a dozen, I would say, significant missteps that Musk has taken ever since he purchased Twitter. And that is having a chain effect. It's having a very, very negative impact. Obviously, it's having an impact on users who themselves, in many cases, are leaving the platform, but it's now having a chain effect on advertisers and investors, which can hurt Musk, which can really hurt Musk in the way that really matters to him.
And Ramesh, you talk about this chain effect. The fact is there are all these legal complications for both Tesla and Elon Musk. How much does this complicate the situation for both Musk and Tesla going forward? And how do you keep a company like Tesla afloat?
It's a huge, huge challenge. I think the main way in which the viability of Musk with Tesla and Musk with Twitter, and perhaps the viability of both companies themselves, the main way in which, remember, they're for-profit, valuation-oriented companies. Twitter has not been profitable for quite a bit of time before Musk even took over. It's been an even worse situation since he has. So at the end of the day, Musk at one point was considered the wealthiest person in the world, or at least the wealthiest person in the United States. There are some debated estimates on this. Now the situation is quite different. We're seeing Tesla stock tank. We're seeing Twitter be far from profitable. Not a good situation there. And that is really, at the end of the day, these social media companies and Tesla are all about money and valuation. And the way in which they can be negatively impact even their viability, let alone Musk's viability with those two,
All right.
is through investments and valuation and profit.
All right, that's Ramesh Srinivasan, professor at University of California, Los Angeles, Department of Information Studies. Thanks so much for joining us.